Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Math TikTok. So in these videos, I'll be explaining how to solve the questions in mathematics structure for the year 2022-2023 in term 2. So in these videos, you will see me explaining the steps, step by step, for solving any questions in our structure. So in here we'll start with question 1 until the end of this structure. Okay, so let's start directly. I'll start with the first question, which is asking us to learn how to find the critical points or the critical numbers of a given function. You will find these exercises from number 3 to exercise number 6 and page 258 in your mathematics book. So let's start directly with the first question. So in here, finding the critical numbers. So question 3. So let's talk about finding the critical numbers, or what steps can we do for finding the critical numbers for any function. Now we have actually steps for solving this question. So let me just write them. So steps. Okay, so here. So directly steps for solving this question. So starting with the first step is you have to find the domain of the given function. So if it's f, so it will be the domain of f of x. Okay, so this is my first step. What about the second step? The second step is you have to find, after finding the domain, you have to find the derivative, which is f prime if your function is f. So this is the second step. Now for the third step, you have to find the zeros and the undefined values for f prime, and we will talk about that later inshallah during solving the questions. Then the last and the most important step, which is check f zeros and the undefined values and the undefined values included in the domain. Okay, so find the domain, then find f prime, find the zeros and the undefined values for f prime, then check if the zeros and the undefined values are included in your domain, which means if they are included in our domain, I will take them and I will consider them as critical numbers. If they are not included in the domain of the original function, I can't take them as critical numbers. And of course, we'll talk about that during solving the question. So let's take the first example. So in here, this is question A. Let's take question A. So in here, f of x. So I'll start with the first step. So in here, A. So let's erase this and change this color to green, for example. Okay. So A. In here, it will be, first of all, the first step, which is finding the domain. This is a polynomial function, and the domain for the polynomial function is R. So, in here, the domain is R, or real numbers from minus infinity to infinity. This is always when you have polynomial function. Now, okay, what is the second step? Finding f prime. So the derivative over here is the derivative of x squared is 2x. Then the derivative of plus 5x is plus 5 only, and the derivative of the constant is equal to 0. Then moving to the next step, which is the zeros and the undefined values. This is a polynomial. There is no undefined values for the polynomial. But for finding the zeros, I can make f prime equal to 0. So in here, 2x plus 5 equal 0. So that will give me, after moving the 5, just to find the value of x, move the 5 to this side and divide both sides by 2. So that will give me at the end x equal to minus 5 over 2. Okay, now the most important step that we have to check if this 0 or the undefined value is included in the domain. Since our domain is R, so minus 5 over 2 is included in the domain. So the critical number at the end is minus 5 over 2. That's it. This is my solution. Okay, so let's take another example. Let's see. Okay, so in here, let's talk about question B. Okay. So let's see question B. So for example, in here, B. So we'll learn how to use the calculator in this question as well, just in case if you forgot how to factorize. So in here, the domain, this is a polynomial as well, so the domain is R from minus infinity to infinity. Then directly moving to the second step, which is finding f prime. The derivative of minus x cubed is minus 3x squared. Then plus the derivative of 6x squared is 12 x to the power 1, and the derivative of 2 is equal to 0. Now, moving to the next step, undefined values and the zeros. Now, this is a polynomial. There is no undefined values for the polynomial, but in here we have f prime equal to 0. We can find the zeros directly. So, f prime equal to 0. So, minus 3x squared and plus 12x equal to 0. Now I know that you can analyze or factorize the quadratic function. You can, for example, over here take the minus 3x as a greatest common factor. Okay, so after that you can factorize and you can find the zeros for this function. But let's say just in case if you forget how to do the factorizing, just to make it easier or to check if your solution is correct or not, you can use the calculator since it's allowed with you during the exam. So let's see how we can use the calculator for factorizing. So I'll go over here. So I'll go directly to my calculator, then press on, then menu, then after that, so let's see, that's a menu. Yes, then you will press on shift on A. Okay, so after that you will choose 2, which is polynomial. Then you will select the degree of the polynomial. In here, the highest degree is 2, so the degree it will be 2. Then they are asking you to put the coefficients. Now the coefficient of x squared is minus 3. Okay, then the coefficient of x is 12. And the constant, there is no constant over here, which means it's 0. So now this is the first value for x, which is 4, and the second value is x equal to 0. Okay, so I'll put directly here x equal to 4, okay, and x equal to 0. So in here, the fourth step, which is the last one, check if they are included in your domain. The 4 is included in all real numbers and the 0 as well is included, which means the critical numbers over here are 4 and 0. That's it. That's it. So this is how we can solve the question if you have polynomial. And I think all the questions from question 3 to question 6, all of them are polynomials. So you can solve them in the same method exactly. So just in case, I put the solutions for all the questions over here, so you can take a screenshot, and in addition you can find the steps for solving as well. So in here, this is the one here. Of course, I will add something, which is the undefined values. If I'm equal to zeros and the undefined values. Okay, and of course the undefined values. Okay, so that's it. You can find the solution for all the questions over here. So this is question 3, A and B. This is question 4, A and B as well. And this is question 5. And at the end, this is question 6. So in the next videos, inshallah, I'll be explaining the next questions, which means in here I will talk about solving or finding the critical numbers if we have function that is not a polynomial. So see you then, inshallah.